Hello and welcome to DCP Live, or Destiny Community Podcast Live.
I didn't say I was ready, Tefty.
She just threw my rhythm completely off now, guys. I'm just this
is good. Now
this intro is completely botched. Yep.
We're getting.
He's like, I had a thought process. Now it's gone.
I did. It just went completely out of my mind right there. For those,
we need a good old Patrick intro.
That's right. This is a premium Patrick intro happening right now. Episode number 140, where the essence of Patrick comes forward. It's going to be a great episode, guys. Thank you very much for chilling here and hanging out. I want to shout out to all our sponsors. For all our patrons.
They're all sponsors.
Yeah.
They are individual little sponsor babies.
Exactly. Yeah. See, my rhythm is all off right now. This is amazing.
Wow.
I'm butchering this.
This is just off the rails right from the get-go.
Right? Unbelievable. Well, this week we got Briar Rabbit, we got Watts, and we have FrostBolt on the podcast.
Yay.
Hello.
Welcome, Frost.
Thank you for having me.
For those that don't know, Fran is at E3 doing... Actually, he's cheating on the podcast. That's what Fran is doing.
He is totally cheating on us.
He's cheating on the
He's
podcast.
just dodging me.
Yeah, he's dodging Frost and he's cheating on the podcast. So what the hell,
He's reverted
Fran?
back to his old awful habits.
He has. It's like Jamie Lannister all over again.
He is. He's pulling a Jamie Lannister.
What character does he play? Do you know?
Who's the villain of
Destiny,
the Hanna-Barbera cartoons with the mustache?
I have no idea.
I have no idea what's happening. Did I miss something? I'm very
nice
confused.
rhythm. Everything's gone right now.
Oh man. So anyways, Fran's not here this week because he's busy with E3 stuff and being on Fireteam Chat. Traitor. Unbelievable. Yeah, and Holtz is still working on Hot Topic and Pope is off gallivanting.
Pope is on like a soul-searching discovery adventure.
Exactly. Yeah.
In the jungle. or
Actually, it's
something.
been a super long time since I've heard from Pope. I'm starting to worry.
Usually he's calling us by now and being like, so guys, I've got this dastardly scheme that I need you on board with.
Exactly.
I've got this great idea.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay. You got it,
Yeah,
Pope.
Pope is usually scheming, coming up with stuff on the spot. So we haven't had a lot of that. But anyways, let's get this show kicked off. Frost, how are you doing, man?
Doing great. Excited to be here.
Welcome. How's Season of Opulence for you?
It's going well. Discord's been a little bit laggy, but
Oh,
Season of Opulence has been pretty fun. I've been doing a lot of the PvE, kind of dodging PvP a little bit, but the stuff we got right now, like Menagerie, has been pretty addicting to play.
Yeah, it has. I've been very much so hitting the loot bong of the Menagerie over and over and over.
Farming that chest is pretty addicting.
Yeah, and they didn't patch it either, which is apparently it blew my mind that it didn't get patched.
Yeah, I was in a call with some friends the other night, and we were just all worried about like them patching it. We were like, "Oh, we gotta farm it right now before it's patched tomorrow or something like that." And then, we wake up, it's like, "Okay, it's still here. Thank goodness."
That's what I was doing last night. I was like, "Okay, I have to get a few more runs in because this is probably it." The glory days, it makes me think of like D1 Loot Cave, like excitement, where like you got to go to the Loot Cave to try to get some stuff. Even the Loot Cave wasn't nearly as rewarding. This is like insanely rewarding.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Especially once you start unlocking like certain bonuses where if you pick up the chest, it'll give you like another extra weapon, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And then the Imperials drop randomly sometimes too, which is also nice.
Yeah.
Because at this point, I kind of have the chalice like all the way upgraded now.
Do you get it?
Oh, do you?
Do you have it fully maxed out now?
Well, except for the last part where you need 8,000 Imperials. Like that's way too much. I'll
a
get that
lot.
eventually.
Guys, I actually just unlocked that last night.
Did you?
That's
Sounds like
because you're
someone
a
has been
dirty
AFK
cheater,
macroing.
Tefty.
Dirty cheater. What are you AFK macro? What? These
I've never thought he was that dirty.
unbelievable, these accusations.
Really? The warlock main who pretends he's not?
Definitely not.
he's dirty.
Slander. Frost,
You're right. He is dirty.
Frost, you see what I have to deal with here? This is unbelievable, man.
Poor Tefty.
Frost,
Don't worry,
how do
we can
you
share it.
feel about warlocks?
Yeah.
Warlocks? Well, nowadays I play every character because I kind of just need that extra content and that experience, So what I think about Warlocks is, you guys need to stop using abilities all the damn time. So many abilities,
hate them.
which one-shot grenades.
You
I
hate
don't
Go
hate
them.
them,
You
but-
hate them.
Go on, Frost. Go on.
But I mean, like, Titans are better. I'm sorry.
Titans are good. They're good.
Tefty's like,
Better.
Good, just good.
Better.
Just good. No, they're better.
Tefty's defending a warlock right now. Defending a warlock's honor.
I am
against the
defending
Titans.
hunters. A day one triple hunter on the Xbox. All right. This is where I
You
come
can
from.
Defending
catch
the wall
Tefty
hacks.
in the
A
Crucible
day
and
one
game
abandoned
like,
hunter
as
on
well.
Xbox.
All right, real talk. My day one hunter is gone, which is sad, but it was for a good cause. Frost, did you start out Titan? Like, what was your first character?
Yeah, so Destiny 1 first character was the Titan because I wanted a new FPS game, right? And originally I wanted to get into Titanfall, but that was an Xbox exclusive. So I ended up seeing Destiny trailer, which was like sci-fi space and stuff like that. And, I'm pretty into that. So I got into it thinking it was just going to be a PvE game. And then I found out it was, PvP, and I learned about Bungie because I didn't know about them at all. Never got to play Halo. So I wanted kind of like the Spartan experience. So I went with the Titan, because it's like, the most close to that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely,
that makes sense.
That's how everybody felt, was like the Titan was being Master Chief in Destiny, which makes sense. Yeah. What did you play before Destiny?
I just played nothing but Call of Duty, literally.
Nothing but COD.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I kind of did the same thing, to be honest.
Well, there's like two communities that like came to Destiny, right? It was the Halo people who were like, this is Bungie's big thing. I'm definitely going to check it out. And there were people who had kind of got, I guess, tired of Call of Duty and wanted to try something different. And that's where I came from. And yeah.
You came from COD too?
Yes.
Which was the last one that you played?
The last one that I played was Advanced Warfare, but the last one I actually liked was not Advanced Warfare.
Right. Yeah.
I kind of try them. I've tried them every year just because I'm like, I really loved COD. I loved Black Ops. I loved, all of that stuff. But every year it's just
kind of just hoping it goes back to being good, right?
Exactly.
I liked the last one, WW2. I thought that was actually really fun.
I didn't play it.
It was good. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah.
Didn't get into it.
What was the last one that you really loved, FrostBolt?
I think it was MW3 or Black Ops 2. I'm not sure which one came before Call of Duty Ghost, but Ghost was the last one that I ended up playing. And I think at that point, I was actually going to stop playing video games to focus on college and stuff like that. But, I ended up seeing Titanfall, so I was like, I'm going to give this another try, right? But, like I said, Xbox exclusive, and I ended up trying Destiny, and then I ended up liking it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Destiny's PvP was definitely super enticing. Did you try the alpha or the beta of Destiny? How you got
I did play the alpha, and I was super addicted. I remember losing hours of sleep just staying up playing the alpha. It was like something completely different that I never got to enjoy. Coming from Call of Duty, the fast CTK, you were getting challenged to keep your aim precise or whatever in the Destiny PvP.
Yeah, it was just some similar story with me. I tried the alpha and just fell in love with the PvP in Destiny. Just felt so good.
Interesting. Yeah, I actually came from being a Halo fan, so I saw Bungie making a new game. Also, my buddy was like, you got to get this game. I played the beta. I played the beta while we were moving from Hollywood back up to Sacramento. So like I had like the beta set up playing because it was Xbox. I didn't get the access to the alpha. Played that. Played that. And then, the rest is history, as they say.
I adored Halo. Like Halo 1, 2, and 3. But it seemed like for a while there, Halo was kind of stagnant. They just weren't making them as frequently as they were making Call of Duty. Like Call of Duty, they were coming out once a year,
right?
And like once a year, they were good. Once a year, like they were good games, solid games.
Yeah.
Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 3 was arguably, Black Ops 2 was fantastic.
Yeah.
Like they just kept making great games.
And people kept arguing that it was just getting too repetitive and too predictable, so they ended up changing the formula or whatever, going for Advanced Warfare, and that's when things went south.
Yeah.
That was the first COD I did not buy. I actually borrowed it from someone just to see how it was, and I was like,
all that wall running and like
or the jumping and everything like that. It was just weird.
Totally.
I remember playing a game of, it's not called Control, Domination, right? With the 3 points.
Yep.
I remember playing a game of Domination, and I'm in this, I think it was a prison or something. It was like a long building with 2 floors.
In Advanced Warfare?
Advanced Warfare.
Exactly,
and I'm trying to hold on to the B point, but there's literally like 18 different directions that the enemy team could come in from. So it was like impossible to like predict enemy movements at all. And like when you're outside, they'd be coming from like above buildings and from like any direction. And like it became purely a Twitch-based shooter at that point.
Yeah.
As opposed to in the old days, you could be pretty wily playing Call of Duty. You could, sound whore people with good headphones. You could really predict where they're coming from. You could get used to the spawn locations and the lanes at which players would run through. But Advanced Warfare just went crazy Twitch.
Yeah.
Too much.
They've had some strange paths with Call of Duty.
I gotta say the one thing COD definitely had down was like the objective modes. That's something I really, really miss.
Yeah.
I have like that intense search and destroy, and then like the actual control, objective where like you need to play for the flags and stuff like that. Yeah,
Well,
that's
Search
really
and
don't
Destroy
have
was
that much
super
anymore,
fun.
or at
If
all.
you could bring like a type of mode that's like that to Destiny, what kind of mode do you think would work well for Destiny that's objective based?
I think probably the first one that comes to mind would probably be Hardpoint. They had something similar to that already in Destiny. If you guys remember Salvage.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah, it was similar.
at first the game mode wasn't working like well at all, and then they did a couple changes, and people kind of just ignored it, and forgot about it. But I kind of remember a little bit. It was working all right. I think it would work if they would just bring it back. They completely just forgot about it.
It's the same with Rift, right? I love Rift.
Oh yeah,
So
Rift
why
was
didn't they
fun,
have
but
Rift in the game?
let's be honest, a lot of us just played it to farm for kills and spawn
I mean,
trap.
anytime you see someone doing a weapon review on YouTube, they're always in Rift. And just
Were they really?
every single time. I know I was, because I was like, Rift just seems like it's easier to kill people.
I miss
Right,
Rift.
you got all these players focusing on the objective, so it's like
Yeah,
but
exactly.
they're not even looking at you.
That was so fun. Like when people actually played it, like they should, and there was like a team that got the spark, and it was like an envoy moving forward, and it was fun to either it was fun to be a part of that or to attack, because it was like you knew that was happening, and so you had to set up plays. I miss that. I don't understand why Bungie likes to move away from cool things and then just be like, well, that happened.
Well, there was Jimmy on Twitter said it's too hard to play solo, so
Damn it, Jimmy.
get rid of it.
Why are you saying this, Jimmy? I want to bring it back to OG D1 and your origin, Frost. So you started out with the Titan. Did you automatically make multiple Titans then, or did you start making each class?
Let me think. I think I had one character, and then I ended up making a hunter and a warlock at some point because of the raids. I wanted the armor. I remember seeing my buddies have like their warlock gear sets and the hunter gear sets, so I ended up going for that too. But then the RNG for the raid was just so bad that
brutal, right?
I was like, all right, let me just delete a character or two and make Titan so I can get the full armor set like immediately, right? So like Crota's End would come out, and having 3 Titans or whatever, I would immediately have like the full set already. You know.
Yeah.
That's how I was with the hunter.
Good days, man.
Yeah.
Good days.
I was like, well, if I didn't get on this character, get on my second, third, and all that.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. It's funny how Bungie
in those days, that was like the easiest way to get up to the highest light level too.
Yep.
Yeah. See, the landscape's definitely changed a lot since then. So, because obviously they removed the ability to do that because people were leveling up so fast. But now people level up so fast anyway that maybe they need to take another look at if people can have multiple characters.
Yeah.
They just have so many like milestones nowadays.
So many.
Yeah.
Got a Gambit Prime, Reckoning, daily story missions, daily strikes, Nightfall.
Right.
There's so many things.
It's crazy. And even playing comp, right? Every mini level is a huge.
But is that really a bad thing? It keeps people, interested in playing all different things, right?
I would say it's definitely.
Yeah, I think it's good, and I think it helps a lot of people feel like they have lots of options and not feel like they have to. Like some people hate the Crucible, and some people hate Gambit. Don't want to touch it at any point. And some people love it. So it's nice that for those people that they have the options to not feel like they're forced into PvP or Gambit when they just straight up don't like the game mode. So it's always nice.
The downside though is that like if you do have to level up, you're forced to literally go through like a checklist of like every game mode and play like, okay, I need to do 3 strikes and I got to make sure I'm the same subclass as everybody else in the strike. I got to do 5 games of Gambit, 4 games of Gambit, 5 games of Crucible. Like it just like you're just like waiting for clocks to run out at some point.
But Briar,
even if you dislike like certain playlists, sometimes you'll end up happy because you'll get like a certain weapon that's exclusive to whatever playlist like Gambit. For me, an example, at first I didn't like grinding it, but I ended up with a breakneck, and the auto rifle was pretty fun. Same with strikes, I really dislike grinding strikes. They're so boring. But I ended up with that fusion rifle, and it was the one that I used a lot in the new raid.
Yeah,
so I
Loaded
liked
Question.
it a lot.
Loaded Question is a super fun gun.
Oh, it's so good, especially with like Lunafactions. You just keep having that extra bonus damage.
It is pretty nice, yeah. That extra explode. Also, the bolts pierce, and it causes explosions on every kill. So it's not just like one kill causes an explosion.
It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really nice.
Like-
Sounds like something I need to try in Crucible later.
Did you get
I haven't yet.
Did you get Wendigo yet? The new
I
pickle?
did not. Are you guys grinding it? Are you guys doing the
I
what's it
haven't
called?
started
The
yet.
blind will?
I refuse to go into blind well because as boring things go, that is on the top of my list.
Really?
Sitting in blind well for like an hour or two.
I heard a lot of people saying that, yeah, blind well's fast, but then sometimes people join and then they're taking all my kills and I'm getting mad. So they were
Right.
saying that they preferred to do lost sectors so they could just be alone.
I give
Not
it a
deal with
shot
them.
once, so the way people recommend to do it is just get it like 2 buddies so you're not bored and you're just talking to each other. But even then it becomes like its own mini game where you're just competing for kills at that point.
Yeah.
You'll have like your buddies staying quiet. You're like, why are you trying so hard to get all these ad kills?
How do you feel about fighting Lion, being a Titan?
Fighting Lion, I'm not a fan of grenade launchers. I'm not.
Wow.
I'm not either.
But that's because I'm like I guess like a hardcore PvPer where like I care about like rewarding skill and whatever, right?
You don't think fighting Lion has
Hefty's over
skill?
here like, I run 3. What are you?
Yeah.
I'm the most skillful warlock around. With
You
my
don't
3
think
grenades.
3 grenade launchers is an optimal loadout? Come on, man.
I did try Mountaintop though with Recluse. Like I was playing Crucible for like a week straight, and I swear I kept running into these hunters, and not just hunters, but everybody was just running Recluse Mountaintop. They would just shoot you with a grenade launcher. You're one shot, right? If you don't die, they switch to Recluse and
Yep.
just melt everybody. Now it's like, okay, at first I'm just like, okay, right? And then as time progresses, I was just like, okay. And then I was like, what is this loadout that keeps killing me? I tried it out for myself and I was like, okay, so this is why people are using it. This is fun, huh? You guys were hiding this from me. It's pretty toxic, to be honest.
It's a fun loadout, actually, the Mountaintop Recluse, because like if you get the kill with Mountaintop, then your Recluse.
You get Master of Arms.
Yeah, your Recluse is supercharged and it's just destroying things. And it's really easy to clean up a kill with a missed or like a partial hit with that Mountaintop. And Mountaintop, it's pretty nasty, let's be honest, right?
While I don't really like using that loadout in Crucible, I love it in PvE. It's so much fun.
Yeah, it seems to be the meta right now in terms of PvE loadouts.
It is.
Oh,
Grenade
yeah.
launcher. You'll try to use a different weapon for fun, right, in PvE. And then it's like, all right, I'm switching to Mountaintop just so we can melt, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I mean, for your boss melting, it's taking special ammo. So there you go. And then whatever's left over for a heavy. I've been doing Anarchy for my heavy, and it's like technically the best DPS if you were doing it correctly.
So are you like shooting the Anarchy and then switching to Mountaintop?
Yeah, Anarchy, and then Mountaintop until
Mhm.
the Anarchy shots wear off.
Yeah, one of our dudes in our raid group actually was out DPSing us with that strat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really
and then
effective.
everybody was just like, no, Anarchy it's dumb. It doesn't work.
Anarchy's just a silly, fun gun too. Like I love that thing.
Yeah,
Thing's silly.
it's great setting up perimeters and all that, and menageries. Just be like, these things are dying.
I just want to see people go in Crucible and attach it to teammates and have their teammates run around as a giant electrical death ball.
I was going to bring that up. It's so difficult to pull that off.
I can imagine it is.
Yeah,
I'm literally sitting there like, why is this grenade launcher so bad? How is this a raid weapon? Like struggling to get all the trigonometry, the triangles on people to kill them. And they're
Yeah.
just walking through it.
yeah. You're doing quick maths in Crucible and you die, and then like that's why Anarchy just doesn't
quick
work.
math.
Yep. But like fighting
So
Lion's
fun.
really good though, because
Oh, here we go.
it
The
just
testing
is. It like
pitch. It just is.
You're a Fighting Lion fan? Is that like your thing?
I thought it was garbage before. I really did. I was like, this is a bad weapon. People use it as a meme. Come on now. And then I did triple grenade launcher to force Mountaintop out of the way last season towards the end, which I thought was going to be brutal. And the toxic wine turned out to be extremely delicious. And I've been using triple nades quite a bit. I've been using it for Wendigo, and I've been loving it. Because like fighting Lion in PvE can technically one shot the majority of the ads that show up, and you can one shot like 3 of them with one shot, just boom, dead.
Right.
And then you can swap to Mountaintop for even more damage, and then swap back, and you have another shot loaded because you got to kill with Mountaintop. It's pretty nice, gotta say. And also in PvP, it's surprisingly good too, with like the ricochet ability, controlling the detonations. You just can't let people get too close to you, otherwise you can't control the explosion.
Right.
Like that's its biggest downfall, is that you have no close range.
Making it sound so skillful for grenade launchers.
Well, you control the detonation for it. Okay, did you ever play Halo Reach?
I did not. No, like I said, I never played any Halo. So
He came from Call of Duty, where we called them noob tubes.
yeah, noob tube.
All right.
That's why I think you're a noob. With your
Well,
tube.
in Halo Reach, the pro pipe was the pro pipe. It was an amazing weapon that took.
The pro pipe.
That's what they called it, the pro pipe, man. And it was different because like you had to control the detonations and the timing and all that. So it wasn't like it didn't have like a big proximity to it. You had to time it to be right next to him to explode. Otherwise it wouldn't give you those kills. Anyways, that's a side tangent. You're a Titan main, and Titans, the famous Titan made the fighting lion. That's why I figured I'd bring it up.
Well, look, as much as I bash grenade launchers, I have a very disappointing story to share that I haven't told anybody.
Okay.
So back
exclusive.
in Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, you guys remember the nuke, right?
Yeah.
You guys remember one-man army, right?
Yeah.
And what you could do with grenade launchers. Well,
Yeah.
sadly, my first ever nuke was because I would just sit in my spawn, throwing grenade launchers across the map, using one-man army, getting grenade launchers back, and then getting more kills. Because I literally went on YouTube to learn like all the little angles where you could just kind of pre-fire a nuke tube and it will give you a multi-kill, especially for flags. So I have this memory fresh in my head. I would spawn up, immediately go to this spot, shoot a nuke tube, and I would just spawn kill the whole team.
Wow.
And the kill streak started.
That's
I know.
toxic,
it was pretty
man.
gross, but
Unbelievable.
That was back in the day when kill streaks led to more kill streaks too, right?
Yeah.
So if you got like a chopper, then that would give you like 4 more kills toward your next kill streak.
Yeah, I was one of those guys. But I'm not anymore. I'm not the one running mountaintop recluse, fighting line, whatever it is.
What's your exotic
That
choice?
dishonor goes to Tefty.
What?
Right now?
Come on now. Now, if you're running in the Crucible with your Titan, what armor piece are you currently equipping that's exotic?
Exotic wise?
You are being judged here, so be warned.
There's not that many options for me to run like fun wise for the Titan because I feel like the only option is kind of like the only thing you need to run, which is one-eyed mask.
Oh my god.
But even then, like 80% of the time, I don't use it.
Okay. 80%. Well, what do you use in replace of one-eye mask?
Either I won't use any exotic armor, I'll use like Crucible Falupi, which is boring, but it gives you health. Or, recently I got Peregrine Grease so you can one-shot supers, but I'm having a tough time, killing Dawn Blades because they fly so fast.
Yeah. They got plot armor.
I'm literally like trying to chase them and they're like all the way across the map already. I'm like, bro, come on, let me one-shot you.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you're saying fighting line takes no skill, but you're using one-eye mask. Okay, got it. Cool. Then we got this figured. All right.
So, Frost, how did you get started with streaming and stuff with Destiny? What was the thing that made you pick up streaming?
That's a good question. So, originally, like I said, I was studying school, taking care of the whole college thing, and I had this very good friend called Red Bull Nasty. Huge shout out to him because if it wasn't for him, I would have never gotten into this and learned the things that I needed to learn. So, Destiny, when I had him as a friend, I didn't know about Twitch at all. And he would just always kind of ditch me at a certain time. And I asked him, because he would always say, like, I got to go live or something. And I didn't know what he meant. But one day I asked him because I got curious. Like, what do you mean going live? Like, what are you doing? He was like, I got to start up my Twitch stream, right? And I was like, okay. So, my memory is not too fresh, but I remember, like, I would always check out his stream to see what he was talking about. He had, like, all these people talking. And, I was pretty into the competitive stuff because I did, like, game battles back in Call of Duty. So
Nice.
I wanted to stream the tournaments. I think maybe he recommended me to do it or something like that. So I did. And I don't even remember talking to my chat or like knowing if I even had any viewers while I was doing those tournaments. But at some point I became more aware. I started getting more, in tune and aware of like whole Twitch and stuff and the, how it works in the directories and stuff. So
the ecosystem.
That's really how it was. But really when I started doing, streaming more was obviously because of all the sweats we had and tournaments, because nowadays we don't really have that. But back in Destiny 1, there were tournaments all the time. There were so many like PvP players invested in playing against each other and getting better. There was money and stuff like that, which it was crazy back then, like, good days. But, that's kind of like died down now at this point, because back then everybody was in the hopes that, Destiny was going to go pro, it's going to be esports. You're going to be a pro player. You can sign to this org and that org.
So prime, didn't it?
It really did.
It just seemed like
it really did, man.
Going into Destiny 2, I think everybody was positive that there was going to be a comp scene in Destiny 2. Like everybody was positive.
We had like 6v6 matches, which is like crazy. And I don't know why we ever did that, but it was a lot of fun. 6v6, all these supers chaos. You have 6 players like running around the map trying to control flags and stuff like that. You even had anchors. I remember Typhoon Travel's like the craziest anchor for Invigorate or whatever.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, there was a really cool underground kind of grassroots community that formed out of sweats during D1.
And then really when things popped off was obviously whenever trials started. So me and my buddy, and, you know, we saw that as kind of like a competitive thing too, you know, let's go flawless, you know, we're going to match all these good teams, you know, but we had no idea what it really was at that time when it came out. So we did trials. It was really easy. We were like, wow, this is it. Trials, like we were hyped for this. You know, we were hoping for more competitive, you know, more ranked type of thing, right? We had no idea what to expect. So eventually we came to the idea of like, you know, just helping some of our friends in the stream that would watch us that weren't really good at Crucible because they were having a tough time. So we're like, all right, just join on us. We'll run another card. And then, you know, it just kept going and going and going, and they got more popular and eventually blew up to be this huge thing where every weekend people would just go to streams and go to the streamer because they wanted to join the raffles and everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That was, I mean, it kept Destiny in the Twitch directories every weekend because of
It really did.
Yeah, because of trials. Because I mean, we had the year or the drought of the Taken King that was propelled by trials every weekend, which is pretty wild that happened. I don't think you said it. When was your first stream?
I don't remember.
Don't remember?
I don't remember when it was.
Do you remember what era it was? Like what expansion?
It was definitely before Trials came out. That's all I remember.
Okay, so Dark Below.
I don't know what. Yeah, sometime around there. Yeah.
Nice.
Because there was like 6v6 tourneys, and that was the times where people were streaming like on MLG and stuff like that for Destiny.
That's right.
Because I remember
MLG was a thing.
On MLG.
Yeah, I remember Lumi was streaming on MLG before he came over to Twitch. Yeah,
I think he was like one of the people that would get the whole 6v6 started, and I would just end up joining up and playing.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Did you ever? So I know you were looking for trials to be like a more competitive kind of ranked thing.
Right.
Do you feel like you get more of that in comp in Destiny 2?
Not at all. I don't hold back. You know, being a PvP player, I think, you know, a lot of people look at me for my opinion when it comes to Crucible. So I tend to try to be, you know, as transparent and straightforward, you know, with my opinions as a PvP player when it comes to certain things around it. And I'll just mention competitive playlist is not competitive. You know, it's kind of a joke to me. I don't play it for competitive. I'll play it for the weapons. You know, there's just a lot of things that they don't really like change to make it an actual comp playlist. You know what I mean? Like they don't have like special rules. The game modes are kind of flawed, like Countdown. People hate Countdown. So many people don't want it in the playlist. And then not to mention, you know, certain maps are just nowhere, should never be in that rotation because they're so disadvantageous if you get a certain spawn. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Is there anything that you'd like them to add to make a comp playlist besides like, you know, taking out Countdown and taking out some maps or switching up spawns? Is there anything that you think they could add that would make people who are competitive be excited to play that?
Well, the first thing that comes to my mind would probably be like some restrictions and a rule set, you know, because that'd be like the first thing that would make me think is like, wow, they're making this a little bit more serious. You know, when you think restrictions, you're thinking like they're going to get rid of certain exotics that are a little bit too overpowered.
One-eye mask.
Things. Yeah. And Fighting Lion. You know, maybe get rid of the whole running multiple of the same characters because, you know, there's always like a meta in PvP, right? There was times where Titans were the most overpowered and you would literally just run into Titans only. Like in Trials back in year 1 Destiny 2, we had quad Titans running double pulse grenades. You guys remember that?
Yes.
So, you know, that was like one meta. Imagine that in comp. And then there was like another meta was like 4 spectral blades. Oh my God, that was so bad.
Yeah.
So if they, you know, that wouldn't be such an issue if they had, you know, a little rule implemented where you can't run 4 of the same subclass, right? Because there's always going to be like a really strong subclass and there's nothing you can really do about it. You know what I mean?
Right. And if you 4-stack that subclass, you're clearly at advantage.
It's just too much at that point. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're coming at it from kind of like a balance point of view. So right now there's just clearly imbalances in the sandbox that kind of need to be looked at.
Well, you know, that's true and all, but as a PvP player, and I really like Destiny because it's kind of special with the whole abilities and the whole chaos to the point where like, you know, I'm okay with certain things being out of balance. You know, I want it to be in the game because that's kind of like what makes the game special. You know what I mean? But there's certain things they could do, like I said, the restriction stuff to not necessarily get rid of like that specialness to the PvP, the whole chaosness, but just make it more contained and less just overwhelming for players, you know, to deal with.
Anything else that they could change in comp aside from restrictions?
Like I said, it's really like the first thing that really comes to my mind, and you know, other things would be little things that you know, most of the people already know. You know, certain maps that are in the rotation, you know, certain game modes like Countdown not being in there.
Vostok, best map ever.
Yeah, thinking about Countdown just reminds me whenever they had Trials as that mode. Oh my god. I don't know why they ever made Trials have like the competitive objectives and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was a weird decision, right? Because the Trials just became its comp with different loot.
Right?
Yep.
Nothing special.
People were playing Trials as a comp playlist. People were playing Trials to be like #1 Trials team and stuff like that.
That's funny.
It was more competitive than competitive, and I was like, there's something wrong here.
Yeah.
And that's what I was hoping for back in Destiny 1, and it wasn't it.
How do you feel about the ranking system in comp?
The ranking system in comp, I think they're doing a decent job with it. Honestly, I'm not really too like informed about that stuff. I just know that solo players struggle a lot whenever they match fire teams, but they're trying to do their best when it comes to dealing with that by doubling the score you gain while you win. But like I said, I'm not really too informed in that. I don't really pay too much attention to it.
For sure. Yeah.